Another of your big achievements, and I think something you're still involved with after leaving William Hill, is you were the founder of the William Hill Sportsbook Award. Can you tell us a bit about that, please?
Yes, if I have any sort of legacy, that's probably it. Almost 30 years ago exactly now, at which point I'd introduced betting on literary awards to William Hill and to bookmaking, really. The Booker Prize and the Whitbread Prize, as it was at the time, and subsequently there've been quite a lot more. But all of them are what you might call serious literary prizes. And I went to the Sunday Express, either Sunday or the Daily, I think it was the Sunday Express, sponsored a Book of the Year. And I went to the announcement of the winner, I think it must have been, and I spoke to a few journalists there and said, look, what's the equivalent award for sporting books? And there was general sort of hilarity amongst these highbrow literary critics, the thought that anybody would be remotely interested in reading, let alone giving an award to people that wrote books about sport. And I thought, okay, well, fair enough. So there isn't one. I thought, well, perhaps there should be one. What could I do about making one? And I looked through the budget that we had, that I managed to find a little bit of money, and I thought, okay, if we're going to do this, we'd need a venue. First thing, we'd need a venue to do it in. And at the time, there was in Tottenham Court Road, just off of Tottenham Court Road, a shop called Sports Pages Bookshop, which was then the only dedicated sports bookshop in the country, and I don't think there have been any subsequently. The guy that ran it, John Gaustad, an exiled Kiwi, did have another shop in Manchester eventually, but that didn't last as long as the one in London. Neither of us can remember who arranged to meet who, but we met one day, and it transpired that when we started talking about it, we both had the same idea. We both wanted a sports book of the year. John had the idea and had a location to hold it, a ceremony for the winning book, but had no budget to put into it. I had a budget, but had no location. Bingo, we had an idea between us. We then looked at each other and thought, who gives a damn what we think are the best sports books of the year? We need a serious judging panel. My budget didn't extend as far as paying well-known sporting figures to adjudicate on the best sports book of the year. So we approached a few people and said, listen, this is our idea, we want to do it. We can't offer you any money, we can offer you a slap-up meal and all you can drink of a night if you want while you decide who's won. Are you interested? And we got back Harry Carpenter, remember, the boxing and TV sports commentator, Ian Waldridge of the Daily Mail, Hugh McIlvanney, probably the greatest sporting journalist in this country for the last 50 odd years, and Cliff Morgan, the legendary Welsh rugby player and brilliant journalist as well. They all said yes, they'd love to do it. They all said yes, they'd love to do it for nothing, and they all did it for nothing. We launched the award. This year we're going to award it for the 29th time. So I think the first year that we awarded a winner was 1989, and it was won by a book about the university boat race, written by Dan Topolsky and Patrick Robinson, called True Blue, which was eventually made into a film. Excellent winner. We followed that up in the second year by a book about the Tour de France called Rough Ride by Paul Kimmage, now a very well-known sporting journalist, at which point my managing director of the time, John Brown, started to say to me, you keep giving this award to books that we can't make any flipping money gambling on. I said, who's interested in betting on the outcome of a two-horse race? He said, and cycling? Who'd ever want to bet on that? Well, nowadays we know who'd want to bet on that. A lot of people would want to bet on it, but back in the day they wouldn't. And we began to create a reputation for the award from the first day. It's now 29 years on, worth £29,000 to the winner. It goes up by £1,000 a year. It's the richest, most prestigious sports book prize in the world. It's spawned its imitators, but authors still value our award above and beyond anything else, as witness last year's winner, William Finnegan, an American, flew over from the States just to find out whether he'd won or not. He didn't know whether he'd won, and 2 years before that, Anna Crean from Australia flew over from Australia. She won with a book called Night Games. We've had some fantastic books of one. I like to think we've upped the quality of sportsbooks writing, because now it's no longer, you've still got the books by David Beckham, My Life, Age 13 and a Half, and those sort of things, but you've got far more depth to sports writing these days and sports book writing. And only yesterday, as we speak, we unveiled the shortlist of 7 contenders for this year's award from a long list of 16. We had 131 books entered. I strongly believe that had we not launched the William Hill Sports Book of the Year, by now you would have struggled to buy anything other than books about, you know, sporting superstars that we know already, the Lewis Hamiltons of this world, and the David Beckhams, as I said before, and all you know, Lester Piggott might get an autobiography, but a lot of other, you know, journeyman jockey who now can write their stories don't. So the interest now is more in the story than in the name of the person that the story is about necessarily. And I think it's just been brilliant. I'm delighted that we were able to introduce it. Sadly, John Gaustad, my co-founder, died two years ago now, nearly. And I'm now chairman of the judging panel, and the judging panel still has Hugh McIlvanney on it all these years on, and also includes John Inverdale, Alison Rudd of the Times, Danny Kelly, the TalkSport broadcaster, Mark Lawson, who used to present the Front Row programme, and Clark Carlisle, the former footballer. So we have a great judging panel. We still don't give them any money, but you shouldn't be at the judging dinner, but you should hear the passion with which they debate the claims of the books. Each of them will go into the judges' dinner with their favourite books that they're determined should come out as the winner. We don't have runners-up. There's one winner and 6 others. It'll be, but they'll battle long and hard, and whoever gets selected as the winner must know that, you know, that's been a very serious discussion. And we've always kept the judging panel as much as possible. We've allowed people to, if they want to step down, that's fine. If they don't, they can stay. And it's that, in a way, it may sound a little bit pseudy, possibly, but I thought from the start, you know, our core business was always horse racing, and in horse racing you can trace back the pedigree of horses from here to 1776 or whatever, if you want to do. And I felt that with our sporting award, we'd like to be able to say, unlike some of the major literary prizes like the Booker, for example, where you strongly feel that a book that wins this year's prize, if it came out next year or last year, wouldn't have won it, because they've got a totally different judging panel, and those people just happened on that day to think, okay, well, you know, we're only here for a year, it doesn't really matter if we choose something of this nature, and they might go for a book which they otherwise, you know, another judging panel would look at and discard. At least you can see the pedigree of our award stretching back 29 years, and that's, you know, that's something you can't just invent and throw money at tomorrow. You can't get that credibility, you have to work at it.